Most content aimed at realtors falls flat, and content can be one of the best ways to get clients. Like, we've put out single pieces of content that has brought in six figures of revenue. Like, it works if you create the right pieces. And what I find typically when we're looking at content that doesn't do a good job, we see a lot of the same things, which is it's trying to sell the product too much. It's trying to sell on why that person is such a great person. It's clearly faking their authority that's not actually there yet. Or it tries to take the person throughout the entire length of what the product or service being sold to them can do. And we find that you don't need to do that with your content at all. Like, using a really easy example that's common in this space is like if you're selling real estate coaching to realtors, you don't need every piece of content to kind of pitch the full transformation they get. Like, if they're here today and they're, eventually they're going to go over here and run this mega team that they only have to actually do for 10 hours a week, and they can have all these other things that's like these huge benefits. That is too much. All your content needs to do is solve like these micro problems over here. Like, if you think of your product or service as helping their business go from A to Z, all your content actually needs to do is take them from A to B, right? And then maybe another piece is B to C. You can talk about long form content. Like, there's a great approach where it's like you have all these kind of A to B style pieces of content that just says like, here's a little win, here's a little win, here's a little win. And at the end, you can even pitch like, if you want to see the full process, we have this really long video over here. And so we call that micro proof content. So you want to get them quick wins that prove you know your stuff. And the idea we're trying to get across to them is, if they can do that with free content, what would I get partnering with them? Like, one of the most brilliant examples of this is a man named Dean Jackson. He talks about his 9-word email. And it's basically, if you send this email, you will get responses and leads. And like, it revives dead leads. It's a whole thing. And the kind of brilliance around that is it works, right? So like, if someone takes that and they go try it, it gets results. Like, I recommended it to a friend in the industry named Justin, and I explained on a Tuesday morning the 9-word email, and he took it, he ran with it, and that morning he sent it out to all his old dead leads, and kind of jokingly got a message later that day being like, screw you, I've had to call my team in to handle the number of calls we got. Right. And like, that's the beauty of quick wins, is the second you give someone something like that gets results, brings them in business or saves time or something like that, they'd be like, okay, how can I get more involved with this person? How can I bring them in? Because if they can give me that with just free content, imagine what would I get partnering with them, buying their service, buying their product. So when we look at creating great content that's actually going to resonate and drive real results in business, we kind of look at three core pieces. So the first is a tangible takeaway, which is, can I go do something now? Can I take something that I'm getting out of this and implement it into my business? And it has to be clear. Like, if you're saying send an email out to your database, it's feel like, here's this specific email. Here's the core components of what you're putting into that email. Here's the reasoning behind it. It's not just, yeah, you should send an email out to your database this month and talk about the market. No, it's like, here's how you talk about it. Here's the results. Here's what you're trying to accomplish. Like, you want to think about it, like, if they ran with this, how can I make sure that this singular thing is as effective as possible so they will get results? If you're holding a little bit back from like the logistics and the tactical side of how to do it, and they don't get those results, they're not going to trust you anymore. So think about, do they have enough information in this content to take action on it? Then the other core piece is like, does this offer them some sort of relief? Like, does it make them feel smarter, faster, calmer, right? Like, are you increasing the certainty that they know what they're going to do with this? And the last one is the identity side. So does this align with how they see themselves as a professional realtor? Because there's so many different kinds of realtors. Like, over here, you might have this tactic that is like, to some, just like a super aggressive sales approach, and they would never do that. And so if you pitch that, you'll have this group who will just like, yeah, I'm never doing that. That's not something I want to do. Then you'll have others who are like, I'm a shark, I'm going to do this, I want that for my business. Yes, I love that. And so this is where like really niching down and just saying realtors isn't a niche, it's what type of realtor. And you have to create content that aligns with that identity of the realtors you're trying to get, because a lot of it is like, I want to see, like, there's a ton of realtors who will never do cold calling. They'll never do door knocking. They'll never do online leads. They'll never even create content. Like, there's so many different kinds. And you have to understand which group you're going after. Some people do this well, some don't, and that's often a big gap. So you want to think, does this content that I'm putting out and the people I'm trying to attract, does what I'm putting out help align with the identity of themselves and the business they want to create? So like at the end of the day, they need something tangible they can take away. And they basically they want to understand that you get them. You get the position they're in, the stress they're in, and all that work. Because like, for example, they're 100% commission 99.9% of the time. They want someone who truly gets what that means and what's at stake for them. And a lot of vendors, when they're creating this content, because it's B2B, act like they're trying to do B2B, when in a lot of ways, selling to realtors is more like a B2C opportunity, in the sense of like the language you might have to use and different things like that. Like, it operates a lot more like that than it does traditional B2B. But if you're trying to create content for realtors and you want some help, reach out. This is something that we do, and I've been doing it for years, and I'm very, very happy to help with you on it. So reach out. You can either comment, go to realestatemagazine.ca, but otherwise appreciate you watching this, and stay tuned for more videos on how to help you connect with realtors, get your brand in front of more, and sell to them better.